evening and welcome to another edition of HGP Sport. For today, I'm Jaden Samuels. Thanks for joining us. In Abu Dhabi, more than 7,000 athletes from 170 countries competed in 24 summer sports. Guyana was well represented, and on their return, gifts were presented. The details in the Samuel Gillis report.
On the 14th and the 21st of March in Abu Dhabi, Guyana's athletics represented well under their flag in the 2019 Special Olympics World Games. On their return, Digicel Guyana and the National Sports Commission under the Ministry of Social Cohesion held a simple ceremony to commemorate Guyana's victory. Among those in attendance was the communication manager of Digicel Guyana, Ms. Vidya Sanchara.
Digicel is very pleased to have been a sponsor of this wonderful group that has represented us well, and we are just here to say thank you and show a little appreciation by giving you back something from the company.
According to the head of the National Sports Commission, 3 years ago, the NSC began to give special attention to the special needs sport, and they are now reaping the reward. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Social Cohesion, Melissa Tucker, expressed pleasing sentiments at the results.
We are so proud of the accomplishments of Team Guyana, and it is important to mention that in the area of athletics, specifically the 400 meters event, 3 silver medals were captured. In the 4x400, 4 bronze medals, and 1 bronze medal was achieved in the 500 meters event, for a total haul of 8 medals.
The government of Guyana has the mandate through its sporting department to bring sports to all Guyanese and to ensure that they are provided with equal opportunities in various sporting disciplines that provides well-being, talent and social cohesion in order to contribute meaningfully to national development. For HGP Sport, I am Samuel Gillis.
Let's turn our attention to some golf news. Ramp Logistics is set to tee off its inaugural tournament set for this weekend at the Lusignan Golf Club. The details in this Stanford Howard report.
Rams Logistics recently became a member of the Lusignan Golf Club. President of the golf club, Halim Hussein, said he's proud to partner with such a company to pull off this event. He highlighted that some of the top names in golf that will be teeing off this Saturday at the club at 12:30 p.m.
As you know, it's been a wonderful year for golf. Dr. Joanne Dio is a defending Suriname's women's champion, and we've got Christine Sukram, the 8-time Guyana Open champion, and Avinash Prasad, 8-time Guyana Open champion.
The president added he, along with the winners of the tournament, will be heading off to Sir Garfield Sobers Golf Tournament in Barbados.
We're wearing some of the logos of our sponsors so we can promote that Guyana is not just the best in business, but we're also the best in golf in the entire Caribbean. So again, thanks to Rams Logistics and their partnership coming on board with the Lusignan Golf Club.
Participants will compete for trophies in the 0 to 9, 10 to 18, 19 to 28 handicap groups, as well as the best golfer gross and net scores overall. A hole-in-one prize will be up for grabs, along with longest drive and nearest to the pin challenge. For HGP Sport, I am Stanford Howard.
Athletics news, Guyana will now have the attention of the IAAF instructor, Oscar Gadea. Here again, Stanford Howard.
Oscar Gadea of Uruguay is no stranger to Guyana, and he is once again here to provide his expertise and knowledge of athletics through an Olympic Solidarity program that deals with coaching training. President of the Athletics Association said this is a necessary move that must be taken in keeping with the Olympic chart, which keeps the public informed on what the association is doing, as he outlined what the coach has been involved in since his arrival.
It should be for 10 days. You'll have already completed sessions at the Racket Center and at the GDF ground. But I don't want to take away his thunder by explaining too much of what's going on, but that's just a brief remark on what he has done so far, and to give continuation to the next 3 days, we'll be holding a camp for particularly our Crafter and Pan Am hopefuls at the Leonard Track and Field Center from this evening to Sunday, and then Sunday afternoon he goes to the gym in the National Park. That gym, you know, is controlled and operated by the Guyana Olympic Association, where he'll be going through the paces with coaches and athletes again as it relates to strength training and how they should utilize the different weights equipment in executing strength training.
Oscar Jede said that they have been dealing with this initiative for many months and expressed satisfaction that it had become fruitful for the development of Guyana.
Really very nice and fast. That's why everybody's looking at you with a mixture of well done and at the same time, oh, they are developing too fast, so we must be aware of it. And of course, it has to do with many reasons. First of all, you have a very nice and talented population, not only for athletics, but for many other sports. Second, the federation, I think, has been working very dynamically and in a very smart way in the past 4 or 5 years. And for me, it's a pleasure to be here. The activities, I am really very happy with the dynamic we are working now with a very nice group of coaches, around 20 coaches, and their athletes. Because nowadays, I think that it's no longer as effective as in the past, just to have seminars or courses. We are obliged, we need to put all the theoretical knowledge into practice.
Councilmember Dion Nurse in his brief remarks also lauded the initiatives as a great one and expressed optimism that this can foster the coaches and athletes in Guyana.
He is committed to the development of sports and is committed to assisting the nations that are not up to the scratch in many ways for all kind of reasons. And we thought it fit to, to make available as much as we can all the assistance that we can for the development of our young athletes and for sportsmen in general.
For HGP Sport, I am Stanford Howard.
Let's turn our attention to some horse racing news. In an effort to continue the development of horse racing at the Georgetown Turf Club and the East Bank of Demerara, the club will be hosting another meet on April 7 to raise funds for the upgrading of the racetrack, which used to be the Turf Club of the days. Commentator and member Compton Sanko says preparation for the event is in full swing. The club was reopened in February after years of dormancy. Will Guyana be represented at the upcoming Pan American Games starting this July? Not from the way things look. The details in this report. Guyana is among the best when it comes to amateur boxing in the Caribbean, but there is a chance that Guyana may not be represented at this year's Pan American Games to be held in Peru from Friday, July 26 to August 11. Man in charge of the young pugilists said that the boxers that are currently being prepared for the Pan American Games are the best group of boxers locally, but because of the lack of resources, this team might not be able to make it.
Guyana is one of the best countries we have in the Caribbean when it comes to boxing, and I would say in Latin America. But as of today, we have a team of boxers being prepared, and I think it's one of the best prepared teams that we've had in decades, to go to represent this country at the Pan Am qualifiers in Nicaragua. At this point in time, we're still ambivalent of whether that team will be going and how large that team will be. And that is because of the fact that we do not have the necessary resources.
A disappointed Ninval also mentioned that his recent selection to the AIBA Executive Committee will be used to address challenges such as these to aid boxers and boost participation in overseas engagements.
I plan to use this new position that I have to make sure not only boxers in Guyana would remain ambivalent or undecided at the last hour, but right through the Caribbean and Latin America, because of the fact that psychologically we put a burden on sportsmen when they are undecided if after doing all of this hard training, they know yet not if they will be going. So I plan to use that position to do that.
Jaden Samuels, HGP Sport. In cricket news, Dave Cameron did say legends of Cricket West Indies did not excel when asked to perform roles. To Ricky Skerritt, this is rubbish, and reiterated that the legends' involvement is critical to Cricket West Indies' development. The details in this report. Legends have a key role to play in Caribbean cricket development. These are the words of President of the West Indies Cricket Board, Ricky Skerritt, who believe their vast knowledge and experience must be taken advantage of. The former greats would have to play an integral part in cricket development locally, regionally, and internationally if the Caribbean side is to regain its place in world cricket. It is against this backdrop that the new executive of Cricket West Indies is looking to have the former players actively involved. The new president have already completed fruitful deliberations with some of the former greats who are all in support of the new administration. The region's legends largely felt ignored under the Cameron administration, and through their support behind Skerritt and running mate Dr. Kishore Shallow for the top Cricket West Indies spots. Jaden Samuels, Hgp Sport. And that concludes our cast for this evening. I'm Jaden Samuels, reminding you to say yes to sport, yes to life, and no to drugs. Good night.